Hey y'all, Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel, honey. It's a few things we have to get into. And some of it is translating from things that we talked about on yesterday, like Kandi, Burrus, and Todd Tucker, Monique Samuels. We have somebody else that's joined in on the conversation regarding Miss Cookie, honey. And then we also have to tap into Funky Dineva and Tamar, because I'm hoping that they had their last roundabout last night. And we're gonna talk about it. All right. So make sure you're coming into the video liking. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that for your girl. Subscribe to the channel. All right. First up, we're going to go ahead and talk about Monique Samuels, because you guys know she did a sit down over there with Angela Yee on Lip Service, where she got into quite a bit of things. Okay. Of course, she touched on her scandal with Jason Weems or whatnot. She touched on that situation and dealing with him and trying to say, oh, I was separated but still living with my husband and he was going through the same thing and nobody know. My stuff is more on blast because I'm a celebrity, whereas he isn't, or whatever the case is. And I just didn't agree with her on that. All right, well, that's just me. I wasn't there. Okay, but based on my little piece of research, I anyway, child. Anyway, honey. Aside from that, okay, she talked about all of that. She also opened up about who she believes leaked the video of her with this man. Okay. And she goes on to say that she believes it was her ex-husband, Chris Samuels, right? She says that he got it from a friend. Now, why Monique has these friends around her that want to see her do bad? Okay. Listen, that's awkward. That's real awkward. Okay. This your second friend that done tried to expose you. You send it, and then I'm not gonna say that's what you get, but that's the risk that you take, because you know you're not completely out of that marriage, right? Why are you even sending that to your mama or to your friend? It's one thing to tell them about it, child. You probably can tell them a little piece of something, but to send it, girl, it'll be their word against yours. Like, why would you even do that? And I understand you were separated, supposedly you was going to get divorced or whatever, but it's like, huh? You ain't even have to put that out there. Okay, you have to send that to them. So now this friend has sent the information or the video over there to Chris Samuels, and she says that friend and Chris had a hand in putting that video out, right? A lot of people believe that the friend Monique was referring to was Cookie. I don't believe that it was Cookie. In my personal, I don't think Monique was ever really fond of Cookie like that. Because if you watch the show Real Housewives of Potomac, she talks about the first time she met Cookie was at some event they had at their home, where they had a very popular performer to perform at the event, and she tried to say, oh, well, I'm related. This is what Cookie is saying. I'm related to this guy. Come to find out, the guy don't know nothing about this woman, right? Come on, y'all. I don't think that Monique was fond of Cookie from the beginning. And I'm sure just as Cookie shows to be overly involved in whatever Chris has going on, as well as a bit of Miss Monique, I'm sure she played that same role in the marriage, right? But Cookie wasn't on the show, so it wasn't a need for Monique to really address that on the show. But just like Simone and Cecil were Married to Medicine, I am sure, just like with Simone, how Cecil had that one friend that just was too close and then also be in a business, I feel like that was also Cookie, but I don't believe Monique would have sent, like, why would she, like, to Cookie, y'all? Come on. No, I believe this is a completely different friend. Okay? Or maybe the friend don't damn exist, right? Maybe he could have hacked into her phone and got it. And she don't know that. I don't know. But she's saying that it came from a friend. And I don't believe that friend is Cookie, as a lot of people have been saying. Now, she has gone on to pretty much call Cookie out for being a liar, which I thoroughly believe. And honestly, it was oozing off of the lady when we first met her a few episodes back. Cookie, something about her is not authentic. Something about her is messy as hell. She acts like Chris is her man. And I don't know. It's something about it. And I wouldn't be surprised she was trying to compete with Monique in some capacity while they were married. Okay. I don't know what it is, but you're a dangerous woman. And I don't ever want to see Cookie on Real Housewives of Potomac ever again. And I'm going to always blame Ashley Darby, who wants to say that she's a good friend to Monique Samuels. I do not believe it, but give y'all about 2 more seasons together. Monique going to really see Ashley for who she already knew Ashley to be. But that's just my personal, okay? But y'all can leave y'all thoughts on that. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we have to get into what Jamie Tyler, I believe it's Jamie Tyler of Love and Marriage DC, what he had to say about Cookie. But before we get into that, right? I want to kind of go back to the conversation we had about Monique dealing with this guy, her ex-coworker, Jason Weems, right? They had some type of friendship that was really good, and then it probably got flirty, then it got romantic or whatever the case. They just got closer and closer and closer because he was giving her advice, right? He was giving her advice. I also feel like Monique not dumb. She know right from wrong. She knows when somebody's not with their wife versus when somebody's with their wife, or we live together. But I don't see Monique as a dumb person. So I do believe that man was actively in a relationship, and times that Monique may want to call his phone or text. I think they had a certain way that they communicated to where she knew, well, is he still with her? I mean, he telling me one thing, but his actions showing something different. Whereas her and Chris had multiple houses. Monique was staying at one house at once upon a time. So she probably could text him freely, talk to him freely, because she knew what it was between her and Chris, and she was done with him. Whereas you could tell when somebody else you're dealing with is done or not with their situation. Okay, in my personal, right? So when this information came out, y'all know Monique's interview dropped yesterday. The wife of Jason Weems went on to social media, and she didn't really address it, but she addressed it slightly. All right, and this is all that she said. Okay, let me pull this up on the screen for you guys to see here. All right, this is what she said. It's never easy when private moments gain public attention. What is she referring to? In my eyes, that video. And more people continue to talk about it. She didn't say nothing, but I also feel like she kind of used this moment to promote what she has going on just a little bit, and I'm not even going to falter, right? She says it's never easy when private moments gain public attention. What was a private moment? That moment between Jason and that woman, Monique. And now it's public. She says, but here's what I know for certain. God continues to lead me, guard me, and strengthen me. And my daddy is still guiding me from above. Baltimore is home, heart, the village that pours into me as I pour into it. And if you think I'm going to stop uplifting, empowering, and amplifying the voices of the ground, that makes this city strong, you got another thing coming. She said, me and my boys are covered, protected, and always moving forward because all things work together for good for those who love and honor God, right? And then she goes on to promote that she was going to be doing an interview regarding some things she has going on. She has a podcast. She also wrote a book. I believe that book dropped last year, which is when Jason was like promoting it and saying, my wife done wrote a book. I'm so proud of her. This, that, and the other, whoop de whoop. So that shows me that when the details came out about Monique and this guy, she learned about it. I'm sure she was hurt. They probably continue to work through things and continue to be together, last year up until. And then now that all the information is out and it's a bit embarrassing, she's probably revisiting the feelings that she had when she first learned about it. And when she did this interview, I saw her without her ring. A lot of times when she's talking, I see her in videos and looking on her page, she wears her ring. But when she went to go on this TV show that day, ring was not on. And actually, I have to go back and correct myself. This interview took place that she did on the TV on the news station. It was, like I said, about her podcast, about her book that she's working on or she's worked on. That was that morning before Monique's interview started to, drop and people started to learn about it. So she said that before. So for me, that is why I feel like she's referring to the video and not the whole statement that Monique was trying to say of, he was separated but living with his wife, but nobody knew about it, but nobody knew. And I'm like, girl, that's not what it was. Stop playing. But anyway, that's that. Okay. That's what this woman was referring to. Then her interview dropped that morning. Then Monique's interview dropped, whatever the case is. And she was giving people a heads up on Monday night. It's never good when private things go public, but y'all check me out. I'm moving forward. I got a podcast. Since you here, check out my podcast. Okay. So that's pretty much what she has going on. My Be More is what her podcast is. All right. So there's that. That's what's going on over there with that piece to wrap that up as everybody is moving forward in their life despite this situation that went down. All right. Now, Jamie Tyler, let's get back to him because he came to social media as this video, he dropped a little snippet of Monique talking about Miss Cookie or whatnot.
Evolving, I'm growing. So it just got really nasty recently.
So she's talking about her relationship with Chris. I believe she touches on a little bit of Miss Cookie. This is where Jamie says, I've been quiet about this topic for 2 years now, and I am so glad that psychopath has finally been blasted in public by other reality TV fans and talent. Okay, because she is giving very weird. The energy she gave Stacey when we ain't never seen Stacey do anything to you, girl. Don't you put your hands at me. Don't you come at me like that with your phone. What the hell you think? Who you don't talk to me like that? Like, girl, are you okay? You don't even go here. Please leave. So then he says, we already knew it was her when it happened, but the former detective in me wanted that hardcore evidence from a private investigator at the time. Now, 2 years later, she has popped up on Real Housewives of Potomac being pressed and messy once again for fame and clout and starting SHI with the cast members she hates on their show and still running fake troll pages on social media trying to ruin people's image and families. Well, I want to thank Monique for blasting her and exposing how fake and scandalous that woman truly is. Be careful who y'all call a friend in these DC streets, okay? And this is where he goes on to show her fake pages. These are the fake pages of Cookie that eventually they were open. And once he aired her out, she turned around, or whoever are behind these pages turned around and blocked him. I don't know, but that's giving a little you telling on yourself a little piece, okay? So he's highlighting all the little pages that she has. Woo, he went and did that investigation, honey. Okay, I heard Cookie is also the one who told lies on Jamie and Irena of Love and Marriage DC. I wonder if that's what Monique was talking about in the flashback. Plus, when you Google Cookie, it's bad SHI that pops up. Is it bad SHI? I haven't looked her up. Somebody said, hey, Jamie, I just wanted to say to watch people around you that claim to love you and your wife. There is someone that I know was spreading rumors about you guys that I saw on the show around you guys. You should tell me personally she used to call me personally to talk SHI. The person says, I believe it, snakes everywhere. Okay, so these are some of the text messages that they've had back and forth with somebody, airing out Cookie for being the messy woman that she is. And I do not care. I mean, it's going to have to be some really concrete information as we go back to Potomac, right? They're accusing Stacey of leaking information to Chris Samuels about Monique, right? And a lot of people believe that it was Stacey. I am on reserve unless there is some hardcore information to come out to show there's no other way to look at it but for it to be Stacey. Then I'll blame Stacey. But until then, I'm not. Right? Is Stacey a liar? Absolutely. She does say things that don't make no damn sense at times. She do come off as a liar. However, all these ladies be lying. All of them be lying. Okay? Every single one of them. And I don't think anything is wrong to say that she a liar because she be lying. Like, that's just what it is, right? But at the same time, specifically when it comes to this situation with Monique, I feel like Cookie had a hand in it. As I've told you guys, and I'm re-saying this for the people that have not seen the video, right? Monique looks in the phone of Stacey. She looks in Stacey's phone. When she looked in Stacey's phone, Stacey shows her messages where Chris asked, right? I hear I'm being talked about in Potomac, you know, like on the show, give me details, whatever. And so Monique is like, well, wait, that's before I even met you. So Chris was learning information about what's happening within the group well before Monique came onto the show. Who has talked about Chris since the show started? Ashley Darby. Ashley Darby has been talking about Chris. In addition, she brings Cookie onto the show. Who all sits at the table? Giselle, Ashley, Kiana, and Cookie. Who all has an issue with Stacey? Giselle, Kiana, Ashley, Cookie. It, to me, and they concocted whatever plan they had to bring it up to Monique. Oh, she's been dating your ex, as if Stacey owes Monique anything. When Monique did not give them much of a reaction to that, then it's, oh, hey, Kay on the phone with Cookie. She flips over off the phone. Like, oh, girl, listen, I just got the phone with Chris. Hold on, let me click over. Click back over. I just got the phone with Chris. Chris, he upset because he heard that Monique was talking SHI, yada, yada, yada. Who has the biggest mouth on this cast? Ashley Darby. Ashley Darby in my personal. Okay? I do feel like Ashley and Giselle are at the top, but we not gonna act like Ashley ain't got no hand at all because Ashley Darby got a hand, baby. She definitely got a hand in this. That's why I'm like, Monique, you over here telling Wendy to watch out for Stacey. You need to be watching out for Ashley. You over here saying that you healing and you've moved past certain behavior, whereas Ashley over here talking about you might clock Stacey. Like, girl, what's going on? I'm ready for that blow up. Because if you think that you and Ashley gonna be locked in like Robin and Giselle was, I just don't see it. I do not see that at all. Right? But those are my thoughts. I believe in this same interview, Monique tried to highlight the fact that Stacey said one thing. I guess she was saying that when she watched the show, when Stacey was at Giselle's event, Stacey said she did not have Chris's number. But then you go on your phone and you show me that you still have interaction with Chris. So you could have called Chris instead of Sharice calling Chris. But I do believe Stacey said, I don't talk to Chris. I don't remember her saying she doesn't have his number, but I remember her saying she does not talk to him. Yeah, Stacey could have still called him, though, because she does have the number. But Ashley or whoever yelled and said, Sharice got the number. Let Sharice call, which I think was the better person to call than Stacey. Because if Stacey would have called and he would have said no, y'all would have thought, oh, it's a scheme they set up. Because, of course, Stacey called and Stacey, he ain't finna tell on her because of, yada, yada, yada. They have been talking. Y'all would have blamed Stacey for that like y'all already doing. So I'm glad Sharice was the one that called. Okay? And somebody highlighted in my comments, and I'm glad that they did, when I was like, why would she tell him that she was filming? And they said she told him that she was filming because of the laws here in Baltimore when it comes to recording phone calls. So that is why she had to go ahead and give him that heads up, like, hey, we're filming, right? Whereas in Georgia, we don't have to do that, okay? Because as long as one person on the phone is a participant on the call, we don't have to tell you that we're recording you. We can just record the call, right? So it's a little different. Laws are different in different places. So that's what was going on over there. Okay. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. Cookie, they on your R's, ma'am. They on your R's, and I'm here for it. And Karen, you got this type of woman around you? Girl, this is not a good look. Monique has not heard from Karen. Karen done reposted that scandal with Monique on her page, let it sit for about 2 days or so, and then went back and removed it. Now, either Cookie is running Karen's page or Karen did that. Girl, that's some mess. Girl, listen. It's probably finna go up next season, ain't it? But leave your thoughts and comments about that down below. We're gonna go ahead and get into some more. Let's talk about Kandi Burrus and Todd Tucker. They're going through this divorce. It's very unfortunate, extremely unfortunate for them. To be going through this divorce. We're learning new things every day. At this time, Kandi has responded. So Kandi filed for a divorce over a week ago. Todd responded to the divorce document saying he wants primary custody of the children as well as the prenup to not be enforced because he felt like he signed it under pressure, right? After that, Kandi responded, okay, and she's like, for him to say that is crazy because I have all kind of support. He doesn't need he doesn't need to be primary parent of the children when I have all of the support. And if anything, my family is here, so I got more support than him. And my job isn't the only job that has to travel. His job has to travel too. Okay, so we're both entrepreneurs, but we both do things that's taking us away from the kids. And even while we were together, I had a nanny, right, to help out with that. So I would still have a nanny even after the fact, right? So get that together, okay? Kandi also decided to drop a video, a part of that court document showing where he was not under stress. He willingly signed the prenup paperwork against his attorney's advice. That is on him. Baby, he couldn't come in my courtroom with that. Girl, listen, girl, if I was a judge, don't come in my courtroom with this. Okay? And I understand that you're supposed to be like unbiased and all of that as a judge, but at the same time, honey, did you sign this? Did you sign it? Okay, did you have an attorney on hand? Why was that attorney not in the building when you knew you was finna sign it on the day of the wedding? Huh? And you done sat up here and let her attorney record you agreeing to give up whatever rights and whatever assets and stuff. You agreed to that Don't come in my courtroom with this foolishness, okay? Don't come in here with that foolishness. You knew what it was when you signed up, and I do not want to hear it now. Okay? Hey, I'm only addressing the things beforehand. Okay, the things that y'all built within this marriage. But if you think you're finna get a corner of this lady's escape and no scrubs and all of that stuff this lady had going on, type of music, you ain't. Lady been doing that since she was a teenager, and you think that you deserve a piece? Go away from me, from him. Okay? Period. Because I've been a shut Todd ass down and shut him up too. Because you ain't getting it. And why you want these kids primarily? I don't want to, what I asked you very specifically. Why do you want these children primarily? Because the news is coming out to me that you've been out here fool-la-la out here in these streets. So if you've been out here fool-la-la out here in these streets, how you going to have time for these children? Okay? You should have been at home. And it's I cannot guarantee that you are going to be at home. Okay? While you out here talking about she traveling the world. And then you got the audacity to ask for some money? And then want to use it against her, because if you want some of this money and I give you a little piece of her money, she gonna have to work. She gonna have to be away from the kids to get a coin for you. Okay? And you want to take the kids from her too? After you've been out here fool-la-la? Not on my watch. Okay? Baby, I'll be laying into Todd if I was the judge. But anyway, let's keep going. Because the news did come out. As I refer to Fool Line, People Magazine did come and drop an exclusive, letting the people know that unfortunately, Todd was caught out here messing around on Kandi. And this is all alleged, but they are getting this from a source. And I'm wondering how accurate it is, because I don't really hear People Magazine being caught up in too many scandals, okay? The last time they probably had a scandal was when Monique and Chris were separated and she didn't want nobody to know, and she came down to social media to dog them out and stuff like that. Whole time they was telling the truth because they got it from a credible source, right? Only for her to announce that they was getting a divorce later, but you was just over there tap dancing on people's neck, trying to call them out, saying how wrong they was, and they was the ones to end up doing the exclusive, saying that you were going to be returning to Real Housewives of Potomac too. The way I cackle, I said, not these people giving the tea, confirming that you're going to Real Housewives of Potomac, but you was just dragging them not too long ago about putting the information out there about you and your man being separated. This is why a lot of people don't be trusting you, Monique. Okay? Because you always try to save face every single time. But it is what it is, girl. Let's move on, because this ain't even about you. Let's get into Miss Kandi, because with Kandi Burrus, as I said, there was a statement that came. They said the new allegations are emerging about Kandi and the shocking split from Todd. The source says that Kandi and Todd had been having marriage troubles for a while now. Kandi was not happy because she found out that Todd had been talking to other women behind her back. She had no idea. And I feel like that's so messed up. And I understand people are like, oh, you should never do threesomes and stuff like that. You're doing this and that for him. And, it's not going to stop him from cheating, whatever the case. But in her head, she was thinking, I'm giving you access to other ladies with this threesome. Like, why you got to go and step outside of that? Right? I mean, one, she should not be surprised, but at the same time, I understand if she feels betrayed when she thought that they tell each other everything, and if there's something you want to do, just let her know. She probably would have okayed it. Maybe. But then also, I wonder, who was the person with? Was it with a person that Kandi don't fuck with? Was it with a person that was disrespectful as hell to Kandi, and you were out here trying to fuck on her man? And then done fucked on her man? Right? I hope it wasn't no friend either. Like, this is messy. But what I want us to get into, I want to hop over here to Funky.Diva, because he did go live and he touched on this, where it seems like he has a little bit more information about the situation. And I want us to go ahead and check out what Funky had to say.
Y'all know Kandi and Todd, my people. And I have to tread very lightly when covering these stories, because. And Kandi reportedly discovered Todd was communicating with other women behind her back before filing divorce. She had no idea. So let's do a couple things. Y'all can stop it with the Todd got somebody pregnant, rumor. Todd had a vasectomy very early on in their relationship, okay? That's a little bit of tea. I don't know if I was supposed to tell that or not. Todd ain't got nobody pregnant.
That was AI anyway.
Now, Todd was around somebody's house.
Ooh.
Okay? And I got her pictures. I know where she stay. And I know her name. But I don't want to bring no extra stress and duress around Kandi house. So I'ma hold it. Her name starts with an H. You home wrecking whore.
Is that her name? It starts with an A, so the name is Home Wrecking Whore.
Because I want you to know I know who you is. And here's the thing. If I know who you are, and if the information got to me, it's only a matter of time. I'm giving it
a week
by next Wednesday before your face is plastered all over the internet. So, Miss H, you might want to get your ducks and your story in a row, because the way the internet is finna come eat you alive over Kandi Burrus, you gonna wish you never even winked at that man. Okay? Now, out of respect, with a K and not a T, out of respect, I ain't gonna want to be the one to break it, because I don't know what all going on around them people's house. And I don't want to add no extra stress around this lady house. Plus, I already done broke the internet this week. I don't need to break the internet no more. Let somebody else break it. But the people is saying Kandi reportedly discovered that Todd was communicating with women behind her back before filing for divorce, and she had no idea. And the headline, according to the way the information done flooded out my email box, the headline ain't lying. Okay? If you recently recall, Kandi filed for divorce on November 24th. Shortly after the news broke, she hinted that trouble had been brewing for a while. During an Amazon Live, I'm all over the place, she said, adding, sometimes things just don't work out. It just is what it is. Following that, Todd requested full custody of the kids due to Kandi's work schedule, the prenup, without being able... We don't want to hear none of that.
That's some shady shit. Not you over here messing around with somebody, if indeed true. Kandi girl, this so messy up. Not you over here talking to somebody else behind her back and doing God knows what. And then got the audacity to request money from her and the children. And Kandi had the audacity to still invite the man over for Thanksgiving. I get it, because of the children. Right? And I also feel like she is still processing and adjusting to the fact that now your Thanksgiving is going to look a little different without this man. And it's probably going to be, is the kids going to be with him for Thanksgiving or you? So you probably want to get them that one last mommy, daddy, full family type of Thanksgiving. But I do question, did he really come, or did he come real quick and then leave? I mean, she said that he came. He had just left. He wasn't there for the photos. Because some part of me feel like Todd don't even much like her family like that. So it's like, did you really go? Or did you go over there just so you can get you something to eat, see the kids, and then leave? Child, please, honey. Please, child.
The real tea and the real gag is everybody waiting to find out when this lady drop. I ain't going to drop it. Because like I said, I don't want to stir up no more mess and confusion around these people's house. And I don't want to add nothing to nobody that's already going through a lot of stress. But Miss Lady, you better get ready. Because like I said, if the information don't made it to me, the information done made it to me, the information act. If the information done made it to me, and it didn't make it a little bit, it made it verified, bona fide, certified, and every personified. If it done made it to me, that means it done made it to somebody else too. Get ready. Anyway, y'all.
Woo, baby, the way the people over there probably researching, trying to find out who this H is. Very sad. Let us get into Kandi's post, actually, that she put over here on her Instagram. This is what Kandi said. As she posts pictures of herself during these times, right, where she seemed to be very vibrant, happy, at peace. Everything is great, right? She says, this is what I look like when I'm going through something. I show up for my family. I show up for my friends. I show up to handle my business. And I show up with a smile, all while on the inside, I'm emotionally broken. In every pic of this video, I was internally dealing with something life-changing that most of the people in the pics with me had no clue of my inner stress and sadness. She says, this is not being fake. This is just how I deal with things. I internalize and deal with it alone. I am the poster child for the saying, check on your strong friend because you never know what they're going through. I normally don't like to share stuff like this, but I was listening to this song, this old song that I wrote years ago and felt like it perfectly described how I feel. So these are the pictures of Kandi smiling, being all happy and stuff, but mainly on the inside, she's torn. All right, so that's what's going on. This is what Kandi posted. I don't know, child. Y'all better hope. I'm like, Kandi, you better hope the judge sealed on records. I don't know. Because Todd might be like I told you guys, he may be feeling like, okay, I endured a lot of media backlash from being on this show. And now even afterwards, statements are coming out alluding to the fact that I messed around on you. And he may try and be like, well, let's talk about what you did. So nah, we not finna shield nothing. He might try and pull an Iman Shumpert. He might try. At this point, I don't know what the hell Todd gonna do because he's giving a bit of unpredictable to me. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below on how y'all feeling about everything. We're gonna go ahead and move over because as we're talking about Funky Dineva, y'all know he got into it with Tamar over some things that transpired a few months ago with her being injured and all of this. I almost died in a pool of blood. People thought it was Funky. She never cleared up his name. Instead, she decided to do promo for her album or whatever she had going on. She did an interview recently where Funky felt like she lied in the interview, right? And he's been waiting, you could tell, to air her the hell out. And she gave him the opportunity, and that's what he did. He aired out the fact that she's been messing with Yandy Smith's man, Mendices, okay? And they've been doing this a long periodically time or whatever, okay? So after he aired her out and started calling her common and all this and that, she came to social media to let him know this, okay? She says, and again, no tea, no shade, it didn't work. Trash. So that's what she said. And so Funky came back and was like, oh, it did? He said, it absolutely did work. You're the laughing stock of the whole internet. He says, they're all laughing at you, hashtag comment. What didn't work was the bogus statement you released on that letterhead, just wasting that lawyer man good paper, which he not lying. Because after I looked at it, I said, girl, this does give that she just took her attorney's letterhead and put a statement on there. Because attorneys don't, when they work for you as the client, they're going to speak on behalf of the client in a more legal way. She spoke on it as though, because it said on the behalf of attorney such and such, but the rest of the statement was I this, I that, me, I, family, I, me. That it was more so about her. And I'm like, girl, this is not an official attorney letter. He not wrong. So then he says, no one believes you and everyone sees you for the common attention seeker that you are. He says, y'all see how she can't just leave it alone? Too busy trying to get the last word. Let it please go sing or sneak around with somebody else's man. Whatever you do, just leave me alone. Okay, so that is what Funky had to say, child. I hope Tamar does take the advice of Funky where she does just leave this man alone and go on. All right, just go on, onward and upward or downward, child. Just go onward. All right, at the end of the day. Okay, but I just wanted to come and give you guys a little 1-2-1-2. Leave your thoughts. A lot of people felt like Funky was wrong, and I don't really think he was wrong for real. I don't really think he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, don't throw shade my way. And then trying to talk about me not being a friend when I was being a friend to your ass by not spraying you to begin with when you first had the man sitting all in front of me when you was in his lap and this, that, and the other. Put me in awkward positions and stuff. Like, girl, nah. Don't try it like I wasn't being a friend, but you sat up there and literally let people think that something, that I did something to you and something happened to you and you know that didn't happen, girl. Yeah, child. But I just feel like, you know, Tamar wanted some of this social media energy and Funky gave it right back to her, exactly what she was looking for. So it is what it is. You guys can leave your thoughts about the matter down below. I'm Jamie, that's me. I'll catch y'all in the next one, honey. Bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to climb.